Okay, now I am 66 years old. Right. I don't look it. I know I don't look it, but I am 66 years old, and I think it is my God-given right at the age of 66 to have a moan about young people. And what I think is wrong with young people today is they conform. They're conformists. What's all this business about waxed beards? You know, you see them with all these sort of looking like Victorian gentlemen, you know, and they're looking like they're very sophisticated with the curled wax moustaches and things like this, you know. I mean, if one person did that, like in my time, Vivian Stanshall, for example, did that, and he was considered as a complete eccentric and bonkers and was a wonderful model for us to look up to. But when everybody does it, I think, huh? What's going on? Why is everybody suddenly this sort of what, like steam rock sort of like they've been come out of some Victorian time machine? You know, what's that? What's it all about? I suppose it's what you call fashion, and fashion really, when you think about it, is who is the quickest to conform, who is the quickest to give in and join in with the same trend as everybody else, the first one to look the same as everybody else. You know, I mean, if you were really fashionable, you'd do something, you'd dress really strange, wouldn't you? Really, I mean, you'd dress as Bozo the Clown, you know, and everybody would think, no, he's not fashionable, he's nutty, lock him up. You know, I mean, it happened to me, I know. But if you are going to be, if you're going to be different, you need to be different, you know. And I see it, unfortunately, and I think, you know, I'm serious now, because actually so many people nowadays are so quick to conform. Why aren't people doing like so happened all through the 60s, 70s and even into the 80s, where people got a bit angry about the way the world was, you know. People got a bit angry about the idea that you know, corporate world was taking everything over, you know. Nowadays, when people shout about freedom, you see it on the adverts on television, it's like, be free, you know, have the freedom to choose between 3 different types of internet connection, or be free and have the freedom to choose between 20 different types of cappuccino, you know. I mean, it seems to be that everybody just seems to want to just conform, you know, and I see it in the youth. I see it in people talking about their aspirations for jobs and things like that. I hear it when I do readings for people. Now, they seem to be more worried about their jobs than about their happiness, or about why they're here in life, or what they want to do. I mean, obviously not everybody, but there seems to be a general trend out there of conformity in the youth. Now, am I wrong? You know, I mean, do you think I'm crazy with saying that? Put a comment down below. Are you a young person that thinks old farts like me shouldn't be saying this sort of thing? But really, why aren't people a little bit more questioning about the fact that we have to conform and be part of this whole society that, you know, accepts things, for example, such as, you know, we all need to work 5 days a week, you know, and we all have to do a job, okay? And is that really the way we should be thinking? Maybe there's new ways to do things. Now we have the sort of technology we have, for example, nowadays. Maybe we should be working so many days a week, and 1 day a week, all our money should be given to charity to help the rest of the world, or something like that. When, you know, people are not thinking outside the box with anything. People are hurried and quick to want to conform, you know. I mean, I was in the 70s really, and 80s were important times to me, and those were the times when the big major changes in society. And women were taking the pill and burning their bra and becoming more emancipated, and men and women were dropping tabs of acid, for example, and completely changing their heads to such a way that they couldn't conform to the world that was around them, you know. And out of this came an enormous cultural revolution, a renaissance, a new renaissance, with the best music of all time, some of the best cinema of all time, and all the great inventive ideas, and the people that we see behind the internet, behind things like Apple and airlines and all sorts sorts, we see people whose minds were influenced by that revolutionary way of thinking, that non-conformist attitude, you know. But nowadays, I worry, because me, looking at the youth of today, thinks that people have become too conformist. You know, I think that is extremely dangerous thinking, actually. I know you don't all think like that, and I know a lot of you feel that there's got to be some changes and things like that, and then we see the Black Lives Matter movement, which was interesting, but I thought that seemed to me to be more like people frustrated with being locked indoors rather than people really being driven by a cause. And I see people, when the youth go out, it's all about how it affects me, you know. My examinations have been changed, you know. And what do we do with that? Oh, well, we'll keep them all happy. We'll just give them all A-levels. We'll give them all GCEs. We'll give them all exams, you know. Let everybody have one, which, of course, devalues it for the generation before them and devalues it for the people that come after them. You know, if everybody has an A-level, then it's no good to anybody, is it? I mean, that's unusual times, and and I suppose there's lots of questions behind that. But I always worry that, you know, people are not prepared to be different, not prepared to stick their neck out and act differently to other people, to say things differently to other people, to think of your own way. Now, I was all through a large part of my life, I've worked as a medium, of course, and as a spiritualist. And one of the precepts, the ideas, the principles of spiritualism is to take personal responsibility. I mean, a lot of the other principles, I mean, a bit of hogwash, some of them, but the personal responsibility is kind of been the key in my thinking of the way I think you should approach life. Approach material life like that, of take personal responsibility. Don't care what other people think. Think it out for yourself, because, you know, 10,000 people might say this and you might say different, and they might all be wrong, every single one of them. Of course, it's more likely that you're likely to be wrong, but you need to find out from your own personal experience. And exactly the same when it comes to spiritual things too, you see, because I see an awful lot of gurus out there, particularly on YouTube, and everybody's, oh, Swami, you know, they're all kind of searching, and they're all looking, and they're all asking for trouble, a lot of them, you know. You have to think for yourself. You have to think first from your personal responsibility. It happens a lot in religion. People look in religious texts and they say, oh, look, it says here, blah, 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 you know, you can't do that, you can't do this. And it says in my holy book, this, you know. Think, oh, and there's another one, first to conform, first to change their mind. Wouldn't it be better to have that spiritual experience and then look in the holy books of the world and say, oh yeah, that's right, yeah, that's absolutely 100%. Oh, that one's right, but oh, I could see how people could misunderstand that. You know, so you're coming from a standpoint of personal, direct experience. This is what personal responsibility is all about, of taking the responsibility for your life, the responsibility for your thinking, the responsibility for your beliefs. You know, beliefs are dangerous things, but beliefs should be founded on your direct experience, not upon the experience of some other person, you know, no matter how ancient they are or how modern they are. The most important thing is to take responsibility. Don't conform, I say. Don't conform on any level. You know, it doesn't mean to say you have to go around throwing Molotov cocktails. You might, in your normal life, you might be just like any normal person. But in your thinking, think for yourself. And I say that particularly to the young people, because I see so many people now falling for this illusion that the corporate world has the say on everything. We've almost worshipped things like Google and Facebook and Amazon and Costa Coffees and Starbucks and McDonald's as some sort of gods, you know. They're not. They're just people using your ignorance to make more and more and more money. So you've got to be independent. Think independent and do your own thing. Don't do things that everybody else tells you what to do. Anyway, that's my thought for today. Have a nice day. Bye for now. So if you enjoy these videos, don't forget to follow them every week. Follow the channel by clicking that little bell thing at the bottom of the page, and then you can be annoyed every time I come online. And if you've been enjoying this and you've got some comments about it, put your comments below, because I'm sure not everybody agrees with what I have to say.